Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Crossover Podcast. My name is David Shynock. This setting and this video is likely going to be a little bit different from any of the other previous videos that I've done for two reasons. One, I'm recording purely from my phone. We have an adapter that is hooking the microphone up to my phone, and the video is going to be coming straight from there because we came back to Pennsylvania, where Emily and I are both from, to spend the holidays for both Thanksgiving all the way through Christmas and into the new year as well. So I do not have my gaming my gaming PC with me here. I am solely reliant upon Emily's MacBook Air and my phone and this microphone. So the byproduct of that is that I do not have the ability to edit with all of the storage that my normal computer has. I tried recording Thursday's episode about 3 hours ago. It took forever to render in Adobe Rush. It didn't pan out right. So there still will be an upload on Thursday as well. It's going to be kind of a throwback to some of my high school experience in video games and some of the things about being back here at home. But there will be no video with that. I tried to do it the standard way. It didn't work. So I'm having to adapt and kind of change things around, at least while we're back here. Not sure how the thumbnails are going to look. I'm going to see if I can edit that. But the issue is I'm limited on time because starting Tuesday, I begin month close for work. And with that comes the territory of not having time to edit or do anything. So with that, this is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit more laid back. There's going to be probably no overlay, maybe a picture on the bottom right. I don't know yet. I have yet to see how editing this particular way of doing it is going to turn out. But nevertheless, it has been a very eventful past few days. I want to use this time to give a quick update on the channel, TikTok, and then dive into current events as well. So first, things have been going decently well on TikTok. I know I have two videos over 10,000 views each. My golf one on the 3-hole course design is at 20K. My skill-based matchmaking one is on 10K, with the comment section on that video being particularly interesting. It's a mess between both sides, but nevertheless, I'm very happy with where it is. In terms of YouTube content, I'm at 15 subscribers, which was my goal for November. I'm not setting a goal necessarily for the next month because the only thing that I want to do consistently is I want to have 2 uploads a day, or not a day, Jesus, 2 uploads a week out. I think that's ideal. Keeping the format the same as is, hopefully a longer interview on Monday, a shorter one on Thursday, just to give it a little bit of time. And hopefully this week I do not have a guest. I was supposed to have Zebra Damas back on to discuss the topics I'm going to be talking about today. He unfortunately couldn't make it because I had to reschedule the first time, but nevertheless, going to do this one solo, get a little bit more ranty than normal. So if you don't like the opinions, this may not be the one for you, but I feel like my thought process is generally thorough in the way that I analyze things, even though I may be missing some data that is available to the public. But we will see how it goes. So next week, hopefully, there will be a guest. I'm going to try and pre-arrange that. But with work, the first 2 weeks of every month are tough. That's just how it is. So I'm going to try and adapt and do what I can while I'm back here, but also while that's going on as well. So as I said, 15 subscribers on YouTube, 80 followers on TikTok with views doing very well. So please, if you have not followed the channels already, please do. I really appreciate all the feedback that I've gotten both in the comments on TikTok and some of the comments on YouTube and Twitter as well. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate it. I want to move on to the first topic, that is the PlayStation 5 mess of a launch. This is arguably the worst console launch I think I've seen in my lifetime. I don't remember the PS2 and Xbox 360 launch. I do explicitly remember the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, as well as the Wii launch. My dad waited outside at midnight to get, I think, 4 Wiis for me and 2 other friends. That their parents reached out to him and like, hey, you're going, could you get my son this for Christmas? I know it's a hot commodity. He was able to get all 3 of them, which is great. Unfortunately, in the world we live in today in 2020 with COVID, that's just not possible. And you're really seeing the lack of retail availability affecting the launch of this horribly. Not only is the supply chain on PlayStation's end totally screwed because they can't comply with likely the standards that are set in their country, but they just can't output the amount of supply that they need to keep up with demand. And on top of that, the demand that they are putting out is being swallowed by bots. You try and log into Walmart or Target or Amazon or any of these places and get it in your cart, it's just a nightmare. It's worse than the 100 Thieves drop. It's worse than pretty much any sneakers drop, which I don't do, but I know a lot of people that can personally speak to how crappy that has been. It's one of the growing pains of automation, which I get, but there's got to be a better way. There's got to be something. Like, I know we won't have this issue again for 10 years when the next consoles come out. Hopefully this shouldn't be an issue, and likely retail will not exist in the sense that we know it now, in the same way that it wasn't back in 2010 or even 2011 and 2012 when 2012 when the new consoles came out. So things will change, and I get that. It just sucks in the moment that you have a combination of factors that make this a really bad launch for a lot of people, and it kind of takes some of the thrill away of being able to get one of these next gen consoles, which sucks, but it is what it is. So on a lighter note, I want to go over my personal Christmas list for this year. Not all things that I want to get, but just things that off the top of my head is like, that'd be kind of cool. And also things that I think are good in general. First, even though it's past, I would always recommend the 100 Thieves drops. I was actually able to get the long sleeve shirt, which I'm going to do a unwrapping and unveiling on Christmas Day on TikTok and try and get a video up there. I'm incredibly excited for that. Emily got that for me. She has, I think, 2 other surprises planned out, but I'm not sure what they are, what's going to happen with that. Second thing that I want the second thing that I think is kind of cool for Christmas this year would specifically be, if you have not gotten AirPods Pro before, or you've held off until a price drop or anything else, get them now. I'm telling you, they're one of the best purchases I've ever received. It's just the convenience of them when you're in a conversation is unmatched. To show this, I work in New York City. Prior to COVID happening, I used to work on Avenue of the Americas right on 52nd Street. I'd walk through Times Square and the 2 busiest areas of the city every day to work. When you are walking, one of the absolutely incredible things that you can do is you can put it on noise canceling or transparency mode. Transparency mode allows everything around you to be amplified while also still hearing music, podcast, whatever you're listening to at the time. That has been a lifesaver. You can keep tabs on what's going on around you in the city while also still getting to enjoy the content that you're listening to. If you want to shut everything out, which I do not recommend in the city, generally speaking, you want to be aware of your surroundings. To those visiting the city or those that live, you already know what I'm talking about. It completely blocks everything out. One of the things that I don't know if they advertise this or not, but it's been a godsend, is whenever trucks let off their brake pressure, not only does my dog get scared, but also it kind of hurts the ears a little bit. The headphones will automatically dampen that sound temporarily for you. it will cut out some of the noise so that you don't hear it as harshly in your ear. And it's such a small thing, but dear God, do I freaking love that feature. It just like, the first time it happened, I was like, what the hell? That's awesome. It's so intuitive and something that I would have never thought to be a feature. But the fact that it's adapting to my surroundings is absolutely incredible. Like, I love every bit of that. So AirPods Pros, if you haven't gotten them and you're on the verge of getting them and you're not 100% sure, do it. It is 100% a quality product that you will use for an extended period of time and that you will enjoy if you live in a major city and you walk everywhere. Necessity purchase. 1,000% necessity purchase. Other than that, I mean, there's really not too much this holiday outside of obviously the major releases with consoles for both PlayStation and Microsoft. But I guess in terms of a more sentimental gift, one of the things that I kind of wish I could do for Emily, but I can't, is I wish I could take her on a trip, but I guess that's realistically not going to happen anytime soon. I'm not sure. Her and I are big cruise fans. If you've never watched a Trev and Chels cruise vlog before, I would highly recommend it. They have one of the best vlogging channels, which for some reason, if you were to Google vlogging channels or vacation travel vlogs, they don't come up early on, which is odd to me. I don't know, like, it's just incredibly high quality content. If you are a Caribbean vacation fan, like, that is the spot to go to, like, without question. The way they shoot things, how they present not only the material but the places they go. They've been to Australia, they've been to LA, they've been to several different islands. They were at Coco Cay when it first opened up to those that know about Royal Caribbean's private islands. They do some excursions that get you excited to go. Like, prior to Emily and I's cruise, was it 2 years ago or last year? Yeah, it would have been 2019, so last year. We binged their vlogs like every day. Ironically, we see a lot of ourselves in them. So it's a very, I don't know, it's kind of a cool channel. If you've never checked it out, I would highly recommend you check it out. But yeah, I would like to do something like that for Emily. I know it's not possible this year, both fiscally and with that with everything going on in the world. But just one of these days, I dream to have a surprise vacation for her. She's always wanted to go to Hawaii. We talked about going over to Singapore. We want to do Italy. We've already done a little bit of Europe before with our corral in college. So that's not as big of a priority, but she loves the islands. So I would love to surprise her one day with a trip like that. I don't know if I'll ever get the opportunity to, and I hope so, but I don't know. Here's the hoping. But moving on from the holidays, the question I was going to ask Zebra, which I'll kind of self-reflect on a lot of these topics, is do you play more or less video games during the month of December? Which, for high school students, you get a little bit more time off, even though I remember still having to go to swim practice and do all that. You still definitely got to play games more this month than any other month in the year. As a college student, I definitely played less because going to school in North Carolina, or even when I was at NYU, December is a lot of finals at the beginning of the month. Like the second week into the third week, you're traveling to go back home. You have a week where you can solidly play without interruption, and then you have Christmas and New Year's where everybody's busy. You're going to family. If you have to travel from there, you're traveling from there. Despite everything coming out in November, it actually feels like December is one of the worst months to play video games in. Simply because of the holidays and all the travel. Even though you get all this stuff, you barely get to use it. I feel like February is probably the best month for gaming because it's cold as balls outside here in the Northeast. so nobody wants to go outside. You still have all the games that were released previous to this, and if they are competitive games or like Call of Duty or something like that, you have DLC drops that are coming in. If you're a League of Legends fan, the LCS is going to be in full swing for the first time. Generally speaking, it starts like middle to end of January. If you're in college, schoolwork is in full force, but you're not at that point where you're at midterms yet. You're getting close to it. Spring break's coming up. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like February is always that time, but December, especially now that I'm working, feels like one of the hardest months to try and get any time to play video games in, which is partially why I decided to not bring my PC back. I didn't want to have to worry about trying to play League, even though there's a new league, like a new casual competitive league that I'm looking into possibly playing. It just seems like it's not worth the time investment nor the space investment. Like, we just don't have enough space in the house right now for me to bring back a full second computer, second monitor, and everything else that comes with that. I don't know. I'm hoping this cleanse from League of Legends for a bit is nice, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm already getting the itch. Not necessarily to play. I'm excited to play once I get back, but like the itch for the LCS to come back or some sort of content to come back is 100% there. The third question I was going to ask Zebra: what is your most memorable holiday gamer moment? Ooh, that is a tough one for me, though. I didn't actually put any time into thinking about these questions beforehand. I was just going to kind of let the conversation go, as I do with most of these interviews. I guess if I was had to say a holiday memory, it would have to be the year that okay, so there's two in mind. The year that my dad got me the Wii was great, and I beat Twilight Princess that year. Wii Sports was incredible. I bowled a 300 fairly quick after playing the game. It would have to be the year that it was Fable 3, I think. I'll mention this on Thursday as well. But I think it was the year that Fable 3, the year that Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, I think it was, and one other game came out in addition to whatever Call of Duty was out that year. I think it was Black Ops 1. I'm not certain. All of those games around that time kind of meshed together. But it felt like there were 3 games that came out that when we got back home from church on a Sunday morning, it was like, oh God, where do I start? Like, it was one of those Christmases where you just sat there and were like, crap, I have 3 different games that I want to play through. I'm not sure which order to go through. Meanwhile, I'd already been playing Call of Duty for a month, and you always say that you want to take a break, but you never actually want to, and you want to keep going because even though all your friends have other games, you still got a lot of Christmas noobs, and you have all of these reasons to still play the game, even though you are beyond the normal level of most people. And that was before skill-based matchmaking came in. So, man, reflecting on the Christmas noobs really was a fun time. Makes you miss those days. But at the same time, I don't know. It definitely feels like that was probably the best memory. But recently, holiday launches in general haven't been as hype, I think it seems like. Because as you get older, you get the ability to purchase games when they come out. Call of Duty will never be something that I ever get for Christmas, nor will most of the games that I want. I feel like Christmas is primarily just accessories. Like 2 years ago, I got my first ever mouse. I got the Razer Death Eater. Last year, to be fair, whenever I say this, my wife, Emily, gets me all of these. I haven't bought, excuse me. I have not bought very many things for myself in a long time. I'm a cheapskate. I'd rather buy her stuff, and if she gets me something great, but I'd prefer to spoil her and make sure that she enjoys life. But then she got me my Corsair K95 Platinum last year. This year she got me the 100 Thieves stuff, but we're struggling a little bit more with COVID and everything, so I'm trying to get her to not give me anything, but God only knows where that'll go. But yeah, I kind of got off topic there. But Yeah, that year of Fable, Assassin's Creed, and whatever the third game was, but also with Call of Duty, felt like one of the better years of Christmas for sure. Um, Before I move into the next topic, I do just want to give a quick shout out to a lot of the discussion on Twitter that's been happening over the last, I don't know, was it the last week or so? It just seems like the conversation has been a lot more positive, but also a lot more constructive rather than just complaining, especially on topics like uh, I briefly mentioned content in New York City and got a reply from OSNYC. I'm interested to see where that goes, but that's a whole separate thing. I got to talk to Hawk Nelson and a few others about the topic that we're about to go into next, and then there's debates with everything else going on. It just seems like Twitter's been a more positive place for the last few weeks. Not sure what all spurred that, but nevertheless, it's just been good. So moving on to the next topic, and I know this has been hotly contested in a lot of different places, but the question was, do I think mobile games will ever make it big in the US? And what's ironic is that my position has actually changed a little bit since coming home here and being a lot more strapped for time. The only thing I've been able to play actually is TFT on my phone and just get a few ranked games in here and there and play that whenever I have time because I don't have a TV available to sit down and play Call of Duty or GTA lately. Hopefully that'll change, but God only knows. And it's like, I know TFT is a little bit of a different game in the sense that it's not as requiring as something like Call of Duty or something like League of Legends would be. Now I'm interested to see how Wild Rift goes, but the accessibility is incredibly nice when you're busier, which I feel like is a lot of people. But at the same time, that doesn't take away from the fact that if I had a choice between playing TFT on my phone and playing it on PC, I would play it on PC. Like, it is the better experience. Mobile games can 100% take off. And I'm not denying that they are probably the most popular games in the world. I don't know if they're the most profitable. I think they are. I'm 90% certain. I'm not. Internationally, I'm assuming so, yes. But I'm trying to limit this within the conversation of to just the U.S. I would say I feel like mobile games in the US won't fully take off because we are a console country in the sense that Asia has PC and mobile. The United States is, well, I don't know if this will forever be the case, but we are a console first country. PC comes arguably third to mobile, but in terms of viewership habits, it seems like for esports specifically, it's PC still at the top, console second, mobile third, and I think that does show some trend when you combine those two bits that mobile gaming will always have its place in the US, but I don't think content wise, content from an esports perspective, I don't think it will ever hit that mark. Not that it can't, and I would love to be proven wrong, but I just don't see it. Until somebody fully flushes out the mobile experience and designs a game that is as intensive as something like League of Legends is, but scaled for phone and mobile in a way that it feels appropriate but not limited, I think that'll be the moment. Because I've tried to play games like Vainglory, for example. While it was decent, it just didn't feel right. Like, it feels like if you're going to succeed in a mobile game, it has to be in a genre specifically dedicated to mobile games. It cannot be a basically a port, so to speak, of a main game. I don't think that will ever succeed. And once again, I could be wrong, and there could be a genre because Call of Duty Mobile is doing well. Wild Rift will likely do well. But when I think of the top mobile games, I think of Clash of Clans, I think of Brawl Stars, and Candy Crush. I mean, I'm not saying Brawl Stars can't be a major esport, but I just don't think it will ever take over the likes of other styles. Could it be dominant content on YouTube? Absolutely. Will it dominate the esports world? I'm not sold on it, at least in the US. Internationally, I will say yes. I think mobile gaming may be the way of the future there, but they are a lot more technologically advanced in certain senses to where the culture fits it a lot better than it does here in America. But we'll see. I mean, I could come back to eat my words on that, but God only knows. Speaking of League of Legends, I did want to just drop this in here. Doublelift retiring is not something that I want to gloss over, and I'm sure I will get the chance to talk to Zebra and a few others about this in a few weeks. But Doublelift was one of the first players that I ever started watching. I started watching with the 2016 TSM roster, which was Doublelift, Bjergsen, Biofrost, Svenskeren, and Hanser at top. To see both Bjergsen and Doublelift retire, for me specifically, is bittersweet in the sense that I'm sad that they're going. For people who watch a lot longer than me, I'm sure this holds a lot more sentimental value, and I don't want to take anything away from them. But I am very excited to see where the LCS goes from here on out. To the teams that are not Legacy, to those that are not TL, not Cloud9, and not TSM, this is your time to make up fans. This is your time to develop your team brand, because realistically, the last two major players that had dedicated fan followings are now gone. You're entering an era where team-specific fan bases are going to take off. In the same way that you hear TSM being chanted in the crowds right now, you could very damn well get your name up there too. You just need to market effectively and get a message across that connects with the fans. This is the time. If you're Golden Guardians, if you're FlyQuest, if you're any of these other teams, there is no better time to develop your fans than right now. You're not going to get another opportunity like this for an extended period of time. Hell, the LCS might expand and you might be dividing more fans for all we know. Do not pass up this chance to finally break through the threshold. You're not going to hit the TSM status. You're not going to hit the Cloud9 status, but you can get just underneath there to what CLG used to be. That's the key. You get to that point, then all it takes is one or two things and you've broken up top. But you have to get to that point first, and this is that gateway. I'm sad the Double is retiring, but I'm really, really excited to see where the LCS goes. There's a lot of promising potential if these owners know what they're doing and management knows what they're doing, which I think that they do. I haven't been given signs to show otherwise other than CLG and Immortals. But we will see. The last two things that I have for this specific episode are a little bit more hot takey than the rest. And that is Nuketown, switching over to Call of Duty, is Nuketown the most overrated map in Call of Duty history? And I would have said yes at any other time prior to the last 2 or 3 weeks. That is solely due to the fact that when you don't have time to play the game all that often and you just want to hop in and guarantee that you're going to have a fun experience, you know what you're getting with Nuketown. And my apologies, my throat is really dry. I think I might be getting sick. I'm not 100% certain. Or I just need more water. You know what you're getting with Nuketown. And while that sucks when you're playing consistently, because grinding Nuketown can be a bore for sure, the reality is the known quantity factor helps a lot. And it is a good map where you can jump in and get a lot of kills, but you can also get destroyed heavily. But quite frankly, when you don't get to play that often, getting destroyed heavily doesn't really matter all that much. You're just happy to be playing the game. You would have asked me this a month and a half ago, I would have said Nuketown's the most overrated map of all time. Personally, I can't stand it all that often. It's like I played it so much back then that it's like, give me something even just slightly different but better. I'll play Raid more often. I'll play any other game from way back when. Give me Hazard back. Give me something. But given the time restrictions, I can see its purpose. That is not an excuse, though, to not have good maps otherwise in the game. It's just not. I get you're running out of designs, but Jesus, just 8 good maps, or not even 8 good maps, 8 maps total for the launch of a Call of Duty game. That's, oh my God, is it sad. It's just like, I miss the days where we had 16 maps at launch, where even if 10 of them were crap, 5 of them were good, and 1 was phenomenal. You still had other maps to fill the gap and fill time to just, it made you appreciate the good ones even more. I get that's not, like, the argument is I'd rather have 8 good maps total and that's it. But we don't have that. So in that case, I'd still rather have 16. It's like, I don't know. I don't get the decision. I know they want to release content over time, but you look back to Modern Warfare 3. Modern Warfare 3, I think, had 16 maps at launch, either 16 or 14. And then they had the Elite Pass content release every single month where you got 3v3 maps. You got a main map on the second one that was like a high-rise remake-esque, I believe it was. But then you also got other maps over time. It's like, that felt good. There were no maps in Modern Warfare 3 that 100% stood out to me in my mind. But the fact that we had more than enough maps to make playing pubs worth it just felt nice. I think if Cold War launched with 16 maps at launch, even if only 3 of them were great, I just think people would appreciate it more. And especially from a competitive rotation standpoint, there will be 1 or 2 really bad maps that play really well for one specific game mode, and that works perfectly. So I disagree, I guess, with the philosophy of 8 good maps is better than 16 bad maps. I feel like the 16 bad maps will have something in them that makes them good in one specific way that helps benefit competitive. And overall, the extra maps added into the rotation for public matches will be just a godsend in general. The final thing that I wanted to bring up is, what is the 10th prestige level 55 equivalent today in Call of Duty, or is that completely gone? And the reality is, I think that's now down to dark matter camo. I think that's the only thing that presents any little bit of prestige anymore, because I don't think hitting max rank anymore means what it used to. Like, I don't know why. I don't know if that's just because we have more people and more people are doing it that it took away that prestige. But like, when you ran into a level 55 10th prestige in COD 4, you had respect for the guy. Or in Modern Warfare 2, it was the 9th prestige, level 70s, not even the 10th. The 10th, a lot of people hacked to. So if you stuck with 9th, it was like, okay, the M1 was a little bit cooler depending on who you asked. And there was just respect with that. You generally knew if somebody hit that rank, they were either a god with UMP or they could snipe you from anywhere with an intervention. It was like, there was that element of respect that I feel like is lacking today. And I don't know if that's dark matter that shows that you have that same level, because realistically anybody can grind to max rank, but grinding for those camos has become a lot more difficult now than it ever used to be. Granted, you can do it in zombies, so that might take a little bit away from it. Actually, yeah, that does take away from it. Damn. I don't know if there's anything anymore then. Now that I think about it, anything from a multiplayer specific point of view that makes you just log in and be like, damn, this kid's good. I don't think there is anything, to be honest. Like, I think the only thing that can come back to that, which I hate to get into this argument again, is like, The only thing that it could make up for the lack of a 10th prestige level 55 level of respect would be ranked play with a proper elo system, with proper ranks that would actually reflect your skill. There's no excuse as well to have like the advanced warfare where, hey, I'm a grandmaster, but you played against bronzes. Again, apologies. If they applied the level of skill-based matchmaking that we're seeing now in Cold War, amp it up even more, and stick in a proper rank play system with proper elo, oh god, that would be good. That'd be so good. And the people at the top would 100% be respected. You walk in, you see a grandmaster in your lobby, or some sort of logo, or something that they get to show that, you're going to be shaking in your boots. That kid is going to absolutely destroy you, and you know it, but you're going to respect it. And you're going to look up to them. You're going to look up their YouTube channel, and you're going to find out what content they're putting out. Because that's how it worked back in the day, and that's how I promise you it would still work now. I don't know. You need something like that. Anyways, don't let me rant anymore. My voice is starting to go anyways. So thank you everybody for tuning in. I really appreciate the love. Again, thank you to everyone who has subscribed and followed on TikTok and YouTube. Please leave a like on the video. Leave any comments on any discussions you want to have. What's your favorite holiday gift? What do you think could bring back some prestige? Doubleless retirement. It's kind of been all over this episode, but hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Goodbye.